But you actually lost a friend of yours, a famous legendary broadcaster recently. I
Mhm.
wanted to give you just a minute to speak about your friend.
Jim Weber passed away, the longtime Toledo Mud Hens broadcaster. I was so excited when I started doing Gwinnett Braves baseball back in 2009 to be able to meet Jim Weber because Jim, even before I started doing minor league baseball, I had known Jim or known of Jim. He started doing this is how long he did it. He started doing Toledo Mud Hens baseball when I was a junior in high school, a junior in freaking high school. So I got to know Jim, and every time we would go to Toledo, Toledo was a cool town, and they have a lot of restaurants and bars around their stadium, Fifth Third Field. And so Jim and I would always go out afterwards and have some beers or have something to eat and talk. And he didn't. He talked. I always asked Jim. I said, Why? Why didn't you? Why didn't you ever get a major league job?" And he said, "I just love Toledo." And he said, I applied for a major league job one time in my career. And I thought that was so unique because every minor league broadcaster wants to get into the major leagues. You see that as a stepping stone. He just saw that as just being Toledo was his job. And they asked him one time, a reporter asked him one time, they said, "Jim, when are you going to retire?" And Jim said, "Retire from what? Watching baseball games?"
Oh wow.
So he knew the fun of what we were doing, and he was such a great guy. And I talked to a lot of the broadcasters in the International League who I knew and I still know, and some of them are still in the league, and everybody is just heartbroken about Jim because, and I haven't read since then about his death, but he was still doing games. I talked to Nick Curran, who's the broadcaster of the Louisville Bats, one of them, and I said, "Do you know what happened?" He said, "No," but he said, just this past Thursday, he and I, after the game, went out for pizza.
Wow.
So Jim was still very active. And yeah, if you knew anything, if you're from Toledo, like I know that our buddy Mike Dawkins is, everybody from Toledo knew of Jim Weber. And his death just shocked us all. It did. Good man, good broadcaster, a lot of fun. And he lived down in Florida, started living down in Florida in the off season. That smile you see on that picture right there, smiled all the time, and no one ever had a bad word to say about him. So there you go.
Shout out to Jim Weber. I never got to know him or his work, but I can just hear
Yeah.
the love in your voice and the respect that you had for him. Uh,
He would always say to me, he said, "You ever think you'll get back in that wrestling thing?"
oh wow.
And I said, "No, Jim, I'm going to be doing Gwinnett Braves baseball forever."
Well, life comes
Boy,
at
was
you
I
pretty
wrong.
fast.
Okay.
A little bit of a curveball there.